Hello again, Earth scientists, and welcome to the third video lesson and our final one in our clastic sedimentary geology series. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the most common clastic sedimentary rocks. Clastic sedimentary rocks are named for the size and shape of their grains, or like we learned in a previous video, their sedimentary texture. We're going to start with the rocks with larger grains and work down to the smaller textured ones. And like we learned in our previous video, what this means is that we're going to talk about the ones that form on land close to the mountains, and then work our way further and further away as we talk about our rocks. So let's get started. The first rock that we're going to talk about is breccia. Breccia is what we call a rock that is made of big, sharp-looking rock fragments. The spaces between the rock particles are filled with smaller particles and a mineral cement that glues all the bits together. Have you ever been on a hike in the mountains and seen a rocky landslide? There are piles of sharp, angular pieces of rock, many of which are the size of your palm or bigger. And this is where breccia rocks form. You'll know that you're looking at a breccia if the rock you have contains large, angular sediment inside of it. Next, let's talk about conglomerate. Conglomerate is a rock made of large, rounded rocks the size of pebbles to cobbles. The spaces between the larger rocks are filled with sand and a mineral cement that's usually light in color. Conglomerates can be made of any rocks that wash downstream in fast, strong water currents. To form a conglomerate rock, there has to be a nearby source for large rocks that make it up, like a mountain. And that's why most conglomerates form in mountain streams, lakes, and riverbeds. Sandstone is a rock made of sand-sized grains. These grains are held together with mud or clay-sized grains and minerals. Sandstone is one of the most common rocks at the surface of the earth. Anywhere there is sand or sand-sized sediment, a sandstone can form. These are places like beaches, the nearshore ocean, valleys, rivers, lakes, streams, deserts, and so many others. Some sand grains, especially in underwater environments, can contain organic particles like small bits of broken shells. Now, sandstone only means that the size of the grains are sand size. And because there are so many different places that a sandstone can form and so many different things a sandstone can be made of, there are many types of sandstone, and they come in many colors. For example, there's arkose, which has more angular grains and is commonly a redder color, or wacky, which is made of much more clay and mud than the average sandstone and can come in green or gray or other colors. The last rock we're going to talk about is shale. And shale is a rock made of very fine sediment, clay and silt-sized grains that are too small to see without a hand lens or microscope. Now, sediment this small is generally called mud, which is why shale is also commonly called a mudstone. Shale forms when layers of clay and silt are compressed and glued together, forming a solid sheet. The shale gets bigger as more and more pieces are compressed and glued together over time. And this is why shale will split into thin pieces or sheets when it's broken. Shale can be black, gray, red, brown, greenish, or yellow, depending on the chemistry of the sediment that it forms from. These rocks form anywhere on Earth with lots of mud, like wetlands, lakes, oceans, rivers, and deltas. But generally, they form the furthest away from the mountain or the source material of any clastic sedimentary rock. And that's it. The 4 classic sedimentary rocks we will be learning about in this class. You should be able to identify them when you see them in class or even out in the world on your own adventures. See you next time.